So first we will discuss about the input allocation. Input allocation or input address. So how that input allocation is carried out means first it will be starting with I 0.0. So in this I 0.0, the first 0 which is available here stands for channel. And the second 0 stands for the bit or address or the terminal. So like this only it will be divided, that is first 0 represents the channel and second 0 is the terminal or the bit. So first address is I 0.0 and second address will be I 0.1. Next it will be I 0.2. Like this it will be maximum till I 0.7. So in one channel, that is in channel number 0, we will be having up to 7, that is 8 bits, that is 8 terminals will be available. 8 terminals will be available. So the next channel will be starting from I 1.0. So it will be I 1.0. Next will be I 1.2. After that it will be I 1.0, I 1.1. Next will be I 1.2. Like this it will be maximum till I 1.7. So here in the second channel also we have 8 bits, that is 8 terminals are available here. So the next channel will be I 2.0, I 2.1, I 2.2. Like this it will be till I 2.7. So in this channel also we have 8 bits. 8 terminals are available. So like this, here we have totally 24 terminals. So in CPU we have totally 24 terminals, right? So we have 24 bits here. Bits or 24 terminals. So always for digital, that is one digital input needs 1 bit. So if it is 24 digital inputs, so it needs 24 bits. So 24 bits are required for 24 digital input terminals. So this is how the address will be given for each and every input. Now next we will see about analog. So totally we have 5 analog inputs, but how it will be classified means one analog input itself requires 16 bits. So totally we have 5 analog inputs. So what will happen is it will take 10 channels. That is one analog input itself needs 2 channels. So if you have 5 analog input, it will take 10 channels. So from which channel it will be allocating means it should be allocated from the next channel of this, because already 0, 1 and 2 is assigned for digital. So from the next channel, from the third, we can assign for analog. So I said it will be taking 16 bits. So two channels should be assigned for one analog input, that is one analog input. First analog input needs two channels, that is channel number 3 and channel number 4. So second analog input needs channel number 5 and channel number 6. Third analog input needs channel number 7 and channel number 8. Fourth analog input needs channel number 9 and channel number 10. Fifth analog input needs channel number 11 and channel number 12. So it will take channel number 11 and channel number 12. So this is how it will be assigning the channels, and how the address will be used for analog means the first analog input address will be PIW3. Just give 3, it is enough. Automatically it will take 4 also. So we have to give like PIW3, that's all. So what will be the next address means it will be PIW5. Don't give 4 because 4 is already assigned in the first analog input. So the next address will be PIW7. Next will be PIW9. After that it will be PIW11. So in this manner only the address will be assigned here. So this is how the digital input address and analog input address has to be assigned for this particular PLC. So next we will be discussing about how the address should be assigned for output. So output address starts with Q, that's all the other things common only, Q 0.0, Q 0.1, Q 0.2 till Q 0.7. So next will be Q 1.0, it will be till Q 1.7. So here these two channels are enough because we have 16 digital outputs. So it will take channel number 1 and channel number 2. That's all. 16 digital outputs are there. So it is taking 16 bits. That's all. Now next we have analog. Totally we have 2 analog outputs. So as I mentioned earlier, one analog itself needs 16 bits. So 2 analog outputs needs totally 4 different channels. That is 16-bit means it needs 2 channels. So it will take, that is first analog output will be taking channel number, that is the next channel, channel number 2 and channel number 3. Second analog output takes channel number 4 and channel number 5. So how the address should be given for analog means it should be like P, Q, W, 2 and P, Q, W, 4. PQW2 and PQW4. This is how the address should be given for analog outputs. So we have discussed about digital input, digital output allocation, analog input and analog output allocation. So next we will be discussing about memory allocation. So this is the main thing. because memory allocation will be little bit different for this PLC. So first, as usual, if it is single bit, so the address will be starting with single bit memory, means the address will be starting with M0.0. So next address will be M0.1, and that will be till M0.7. So one channel, that is in channel number 0, we have 8 bits. So the next channel starts with M1.0, M1.1, and this will be till M1.7. So like this, it will be expanded and it will be maximum till M127.7. Like this, it will be expanded. That is, in each and every channel till 127, it has 8 different bits. Now, if you go for analog, we need two different things. One should be 16-bit and the other one should be 32-bit. So one is 16-bit and the other one is 32-bit. So what is this 16-bit and what is this 32-bit means? For some ranges, that is till the 2 power 16 values, till 2 power 16, if you have a range of value till 2 power 16, it can be assigned in 16-bit address. But if it is more than that 2 power 16, you cannot assign it in a 16-bit address. You have to definitely go for a 32-bit address. And what address we have to use for 16-bit and 32-bit address, I will be explaining now. So if you need a 16-bit address, definitely you have to use two 8 bits. That is, combination of two 8 bits are only a 16-bit. So the first address for 16-bit will be starting like MW0. If you give 0, it is enough. Automatically, it will take 0 as well as 1. So it will take channel number 0 as well as channel number 1. So if you want another 16-bit, the address should be given like MW2. If you give 2, what will happen is it will take automatically 2 and 3. So the next address should be MW4. So it will take 4 and 5. So like this, the address should be given for 16-bit. Next, for 32-bit, 4 8 bits are required. So address will be like MD0. If you give 0, automatically it will take 0, 1, 2 and 3. So the next address will be MD4. If you give 4, what will happen? It will take 4, 5, 6 and 7. Next, you have to give MD8. So it will take 8, 9, 10 and 11. So this is how it will be taking. Now another thing is important here. If suppose you are using a single bit address in your program. First you have used a single bit address in your program. Next, in the same program itself, if you need a 16-bit address, you cannot use this address because previously in that single bit you have used a single bit of channel number 0 only. So again you cannot assign the same channel for 16-bit. So if you use the first address in this, you have to go for the second address only here. And again, another example I will say, if suppose you have used a 32-bit address first in your program, now you need a single bit address. So what address you have to use means you should not use channel number 0, 1, 2 and 3 because it is already assigned for this 32-bit address. So which address you have to use for a single bit now means you have to use 4.0. So in this way only you have to use the address, because this channels are same for 16-bit, 32-bit as well as single bit. So based on the channel allocation only, you have to use all these things. If you use, for example, if you are using MW0 as well as MD0 as well as M0.0 in the program, what will happen is when you store some data in that, there will be overlapping in the values. So due to that overlapping, you cannot get the exact output in your program. So this is the reason for assigning the address in this manner. So this is how the input, output and memory allocation address should be given for the PLC here. So next we will see how to do all these hardware configuration directly in the software. So what you can do is directly you can open the Semantic Manager software. So after opening it, go to File, select New. After giving New, it is asking for a name. So just give any name for the project. So I'm just giving Project 24. So like this, you can give any name and just give OK. So after giving the name, if you give OK, automatically the project is created. Next, what we have to do is just right click anywhere and select Insert New Object, and in Insert New Object, select Semantic 300 Station. So after selecting Semantic 300 Station, double click Semantic 300. So after you double click Semantic 300, automatically this hardware configuration page will be opened. Double click that hardware. So this is the hardware configuration page. So here what you have to do is right click and after that select insert object. Right click and select insert object. So after selecting insert object, it is asking for Semantic. So select Semantic 300. After that select rack 300 and after that select rail. So after doing that, automatically a rail is appearing with totally 11 segments or 11 slots. So we know earlier, like in one rail we can connect up to 11 segments or 11 slots. So in that the first slot will be for power supply. So here you have to add the power supply. Just right click, select insert new object, select the first slot, right click, select insert object. After selecting insert object, you can directly select any power supply what you have. So here I am selecting PS307 5 amps, 5 amps power supply. So select that power supply. So after attaching the power supply here, next we have to add the CPU. So our CPU model is CPU 313C. So just right click the second slot, select insert object. After selecting insert object, select CPU 313C. So after selecting CPU 313C, here I am selecting the order. This is called as order number, and this order number will be available in the PLC itself, in that CPU itself. You have to just see that order number and select the exact order number what you have. just to see the CPU of the hardware and select the order number. So here I am selecting this particular order number. So after that, select the version available in that. So here itself it will show. See, totally the work memory of this PLC is 128 KB. Internal memory is 128 KB. And 0.07 millisecond is the scan time. 24 digital input, 16 digital output, 5 analog input, 2 analog output. 2.5 kilohertz is the 2.5 kilohertz and 30 kilohertz for the high speed pulses. So previously I have given 60 kilohertz. So here it is 30 kilohertz only. So next we have to configure the digital input 24 and digital output 16. So just double click this digital input 24, digital output 16. After that, select the option called addresses. So after selecting addresses, what we have to do is we have to remove the system default. We have to disable system default and we have to give the start address as 0 for both input as well as output. See, if you give 0, automatically it is taking the end channel as 2. So it is taking 3 channels for digital input. Channel number 0, 1 and 2. Next for output, it is automatically taking channel number 0 as well as 1. So we have to give just the start address, automatically it will take the end address. So after giving that, just give OK. So next what we have to do is double click analog input 5 and analog output 2. Double click that, select addresses. After selecting addresses, what we have to do is we have to disable the system default. After disabling system default, what we have to do here is we have to change this as 3. Why? Because digital inputs ending address is 2. That is, it is taking channel number 0, 1 and 2. So here we have to give the start address as 3 for input. And if you give 3, automatically it is taking till 12. Next here what we have to do is we have to give 2. If you give 2, automatically it will take till 5. So give that and after that give OK. So after doing this configuration, you have to select save and choose download. If you select download, what will happen means it will be downloaded to the controller. After downloading it only, you have to minimize this and double click CPU 313C, double click S7 programs, double click blocks and double click OB1. Select the language what you need, give OK and start doing the program. So this is how you have to do the hardware configuration. So after that you can start doing the program and download it to the controller and execute according to the requirement.